position.
Oh, Kissay! Welcome back to the LCO, delivered by Menulog. We're jumping on into the fourth game of the night. It is, of course, the final game of the night as well, after the extravaganza that was the match of the week. It provided in many, many aspects of as it could in League of Legends. Entertainment being the main one. Successful ganks were in there. There was some smite steals, Baron, crazy business, Elder Drakes, you name it. We got it that game.
Yes, we couldn't ask for much more from a match of the week, especially when we weren't saying who was going to be the top dog in OS. We were just calling out our match of the week for third.
Yep.
And then the coach disagreed with us from the first minute of the game, but then delivered that absolute banger to fill us all with hope that that was the match for third.
That was the match for third and the start of the head-to-head, because it's still just round one. We get two more of those, but we still have one more game here, and of course, we're going to be talking about Gravitas first, rather. So, DaJeung in the mid lane, man has been going crazy. But we also have the most famous man so far on the LCO,
Toppy!
Toppy! Right up top there. Rusty, why is he so bloody important?
Just really fun to say his name.
True.
Above all else. Toppy's had, I think, 2 games so far in the LCO, and I would say have been the most polarizing you could possibly have. One of them, he managed to get a solo kill onto Toppy, and did ultimately lose that game, of course, but looked solid, right, in a losing game, and then ended up playing Fiora into Ornn against Lived and got solo killed at like level 3, and it was a disaster.
Okay.
But he did, on record on Twitter, say to me he is going to improve, because that was pretty bad. And I think we can all agree that that's true, and I trust that he will improve.
Well, you heard it from the horse's mouth. That was pretty bad, and the man's looking to improve. But that's exactly what you can do when you are a professional player of this caliber. But today, going up against Pentanet, what can we expect Gravitas to do? Because Pentanet have been looking relatively hot. Last game last week, though, there were a few missteps from a few individuals, which made the game not look as one-sided as maybe we expected, Keith.
Look, I think the win con for Gravitas is to mind control BalKhan into picking Viego, because Viego has the worst win rate we've seen on jungle so far, and their only loss is on that Viego, which is this game against Chiefs. Although they did not too great in this game, they did do really well in their previous game, so it's not just, it's just a one-off thing, because Chiefs is currently the best team in the league right now. I don't want to falter that, but they did have a Gwen mid, which is quite a unique pick for Yuri. I think it's only his pick. I wouldn't expect anyone else in the league to do that, and it didn't do bad, but it didn't do good either. And Yuri has been that standout player for the entire team, so I don't know what they're gonna pick, and especially Yuri, I think he plays like Aphelios mid or something, so...
Aphelios got a buff, right?
Yeah.
So maybe there's a chance we do actually see that happen.
Aphelios mid.
Giga Brain?
Maybe?
Kitty?
Into what matchup?
Yeah, that's the question.
In the multiverse of Doctor Strange from Split 1.
Good movie, by the way.
It's
Now,
a good
look,
movie.
we actually have another movie for you guys to watch right now. It's not a feature-length film, but it's just as good as one.
DaJeung has actually stolen the Swain ult, and now this time is the one with all the damage. Eladora comes on through with a tidal wave, knocking up 2, but I believe Llenia is actually going to look to try and say, no, I am now the Lee Sin.
Hi, my name is DaJeung. My in-game name is DaJeung, and I am the mid laner for Gravitas. Even as a child, I used to be very competitive, so I played a lot of sports as a kid, and I always be very, very competitive, always want to be like pro whatever. Like I played a lot of basketball, and I was like, when I was a kid, I was like, I want to play in the NBA and all that. I started playing League, I think, at the beginning of Season 2, and then I played around, I'll say 15, 20 games, and I thought this was the most boring game ever, and I quit. And a year later, when I joined high school, all my friends were playing it, so I was like, oh, I'll start playing again. It was interestingly a Janna AD one trick. Don't know how I became that, but I think at some point I was kind of like, oh, I'm actually kind of good at this game. Let's see where I can go with this. Got lucky with this opportunity, so here I am. As a person, I think I'm just really energetic. I like talking, like interacting with people. Gameplay-wise, I'm just full serious. I'm that guy that like never plays norms games because I don't want to play games that result in nothing. Like my fun is winning the game and getting LP, so. Favorite moment, easily the first time we beat Peace. To be honest, there were a lot of lucky moments. Like I used my whole year's worth of luck in that game, but yeah, I still remember finishing that game and we winning that game. I was like beyond happy. I remember I was like full like celebrating to myself, and then like 10 seconds into celebrating, I was like, wait, oh my god, my camera's on. Okay, calm down. Let's not be too weird. So I thought there would be like a Rookie of the Split award. I didn't really think it would be most improved. Obviously, I'm really happy I got it. Right? It feels nice to get some recognition. Maybe I'm being too hard on myself, but I thought Zoranis should get it, to be honest. So goal this split. As a team, obviously make playoffs. Hopefully make some noise in that as well. Personally, it's a bit subjective, I guess, but I would like to be considered by most people a top 3 mid laner in LCO. I think that's what I'm looking for right now. Hoping I can show more next split.
Now, if I ever hear from another player that they are holding back in the post-game celebrations because they're on camera, I'm going to come and hunt you down and we're going to do them together and we'll put them on Twitter or something because that's ridiculous. You celebrate. Who cares what people think? We do this on camera all the time. You know, throw your ego to the side a little bit. Just be happy, you know. Woo! Is that even? No. Happy.
There will be no uwus on this broadcast.
You can uwu if you want, but anyway,
Well,
Skimmy, I've got something for you, and fortunately, you're saved.
yep, I believe we do have another Uwu enjoyer, which is Winterer on the other side for tonight's interview. So, Winterer, starting off with the hard-hitting question. What reflection do you have for your match against Chiefs last week?
I didn't have enough luck last time, but today I refilled all the luck from special therapy, so it's all good now.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm loving it. Now, you know, this tank meta, we've seen Sej in every single game so far tonight. Are we potentially expecting to see more Sejuani? Are you going to make Rusty's day by making him watch Sejuani 4 games in a row?
I'm going to use my ego and won't play any tank, even if my coach tells me to do so. I'll try my best to not play that.
We have some rebellion going on,
Yes.
but I do want to talk about Yuri. So we see Yuri stepping up in his recent games where he's performing extremely well. So what has changed from PGG Split 1 to Split 2?
This split, we're living more healthy compared to last split. Like last split, we always like woke up before like 1 minute of LCO game starts. But now we wake up like at least 1 hour before, so we're getting a lot better in terms of health, which resulting in better gameplay.
Congratulations, Winterer. I'm glad that you're looking after your health. And let's see if you can get an easy W today in the Rift. We're going to let you go and get ready for the game.
Thank you.
1 hour.
That was healthy. 5 p.m.
You know,
Hey, better than 5:59 p.m.,
Oh
Rusty.
my god,
you know what
man.
they're doing? Praedyth just sitting around on the team meeting. All right, boys, we all get up at 5 p.m. Fruit Loops, legends.
That's exactly what they're looking for. Now, look, it's time for you guys to put your Twitch points on the line, try to figure out which way this is going to go. Maybe we can put another poll up and see, you know, how long this game is going to go. See if they can go par for last game. See if Rusty's throat can survive that long, because the man, he's been talking. About. Anyway, tell us who you think is going to win. We all think that Pentanet's going to win, according to our predictions. Kitty, do you want to tell us all the reason why?
All the reasons why? Well, obviously it's because they're waking up 1 hour before their actual game, so they are getting in some extra Fruit Loop into their mouths, and I think that's just the buff that they have, so they're going to win tonight.
And orange juice, of course. Lots
And
of time
orange
for orange
juice
juice
and
for
some
Rogue.
OJ.
Yep.
Yeah.
Orange juice and Fruit Loops in their mouth. And that's the
Dietitians
strategy
hate
you
them.
need. Yep. Pure brilliant. Either way, look, I think PGG, they're just in a bit of a different league at the moment to what we're seeing from Gravitas. I love Gravitas when they're on, but they're not always on, right? Hopefully, I really want to see how this Winterer Toppy matchup actually goes now that you mentioned it before, Rusty. We know both of them are very good individuals. Winterer, he came sort of, I wouldn't say out of nowhere, but the man has been very solid for a pretty long time now. So it's an easier matchup for Toppy as opposed to like some of the other top laners he's
Toppoon,
faced.
yeah, that he's been playing against. I mean, it's definitely one of those lanes where Toppy with Na will be comfortable with the Sejuani matchup as well, if we're going to expect to see that. But based off Winter egoing his coach chippies with draft, we may not get that matchup at all. We don't actually know what we'll see, but yeah, no, that is probably one of the cooler lanes to watch, because Winter has kind of done the hard yards in playing top lane. Started as a mid laner, picked a 0 in his first couple of weeks, was like a 0-8 top laner, and then kind of brought it back to playing top. What?
You reckon that's going to be top lane?
What?
Gonna play as your top.
I've asked for so long.
Oh my god, he's gonna play as your top.
I think you've asked him on my behalf, like, when you playing at top lane again? Maybe.
I caught him playing it in solo queue.
Oh,
He's actually gonna do it.
okay.
I swear to God. Am I leaking the strat?
No, you saw it in solo queue. That's not leaking.
That's not scrims. You're not leaking scrims. You're leaking solo queue, and look, that's publicly available on the internet.
It's true.
So anyone could research that, Kitty.
Okay, well, I'm glad we stumbled upon that.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
Good for draft.
that's good for draft, which isn't ready yet. Look,
Do we know if Yuri plays as this so they can flex it?
Yuri, I don't think I've
think
seen.
we've
Well, if you have the AP on the
He can play
top,
Corki.
that means we get the Aphelios mid.
Corki used to be a top laner.
AP. And look, Champ Select's ready, so we can figure out exactly what's going to be getting played, if Winter goes back to his roots or not, because the time is now. Let's jump into it.
Yes, let's jump into that final champion select to see what happens in this final bout. PGG up against Gravitas. Will it just be as simple as saying PGG do a little bit of angry gaming?
I mean, it's definitely possible, but they've had a week to cool down from their last loss. So they may not be angry by any means. Wukong first pick going to be up and available here, as is the Viego response. So that's where we're expecting to go. But with the Ezreal gone, Senna gone, Lucian and Zeri both taken away, it does make you always question what the second pick will be. Viego and what, right, is always the question that we'll now have. Still plenty of what duos, that's the thing, but these are like the 4 best ones that have effectively been taken off the list completely.
And we're starting to see now a bigger semblance of, like, you ban away one portion of a combo, right? You ban away Lucian, Nami's off the table. You ban away the Ezreal, Karma doesn't look anywhere near as good. Senna, you just remove 18 champions from being a very annoying bot lane combo. Ezreal was usually the response. They've gone for Viego, as to be expected, but do they actually lock in a Renata blind without revealing their AD carry? You'd think if they do this, maybe Kalista, but they probably want to see the matchup first.
Yeah, you would have to assume that that is into Kalista. I mean, Balls and Pentanet's caught for what they'd like to play into that one. You don't have the Ezreal option, right, to outrange. You don't have as much mobility. You can go something aggressive if you wanted, but this could also just be Aphelios Lulu and you just outrange a little bit. You walk away if they try and engage on you. That's simple. Wukong's already got your engage covered. Wukong Lulu is a good combo. Plenty of tools still there from PGG, and now it makes you wonder, is it the Kalista from Piglet?
Because that seem a lot better this time around, right? If you do play that pairing, as opposed to trying to, use the Renata ult into an Ezreal.
Especially with the Wukong.
I mean, we've already seen, right, when the champion came out from Renata, that Praedyth did literally just kill all his teammates with the cloud.
Yeah, it's true. I guess DaJeung does love a good Zoe. And this is one of the first games, I think, this split where it hasn't been banned. So I'm not going to say it's surprising that he's gone straight for this. I mean, Zoe into mid bans if you wanted. Yuri's Yone is probably a must ban, because the Yone-Zoe matchup is pretty favorable. Or maybe not favorable, but pretty good for the Yone. However, I just immediately think of MSI, Caps versus Kisei, where the Zoe was actually putting in bloody work. But still, that's what I would ban.
We've certainly seen that snapback animation. Looking to try and cancel out one bubble for another. Swain's been banned away. We do know that Winter loves that one. Yuri may actually be quite game to try and play that in the mid lane as well. We're not too sure. Kog'Maw being denied, so looking to try and remove any kind of hyper-scaling champion that can really absorb and utilize that attack speed and move speed.
Yeah, Jinx is maybe a decent option as well, just because it has really good follow-up for the Renata, or setup in the first place. If there's a champion that's an AD that has setup, that'd be nice. Kog'Maw is one of those unique cases where he just does so much DPS that having the W from a Renata at all can be game-changing. Gwenben's actually quite a nice one because that is pretty flexible for PGG, given that it was mid last time we saw it. Zoe bubbles, Gwen, pretty self-explanatory. If she's immune, the bubble doesn't hit. It actually goes straight through.
Ooh, this would be interesting. So you hit the nail on the head of removing the Jinx as well. We were posturing and thinking, would it just be as simple as saying Kalista and the Renata they're now toying up the idea, at least anyway, with a misfortune, which last time we really saw
dangerous.
was commonly going to be the E Max into Arcane Comet Poke, but we have seen a big absence now of the, you know, lethality tier stacking.
I don't mind misfortune in general as a champion, but like this is a Sejuani and a Wukong, right? Or it's like you see the Wukong, you know top hasn't been picked, that's a fair angle, right? At this point, MF's going to have a pretty hard time.
How do you ever bullet time?
How do you ever ult, right? You have to be positioned so well. There's just so much kill threat on you at all moments. Renata's going to have to be huge for this, right? It's going to be a very influential factor. It turns out the coach has bigger biceps than Winterer, though. Just keep that in mind.
Winter has absolutely lied to us.
He did not ego his coach, or he did ego his coach and is about to be benched, and the coach is playing Sejuani.
We will know the day we see an Olaf in the game. It's Chippy just subbing himself
true.
in.
Hey, Olaf, really good top right now.
He is. We're begging. We really would love to see that. It's not to be the case today, but we will get an Akali, which is very, very exciting. Lots of explosive damage to follow up all those CC members. A big battle between Yuri and Praedyth, no doubt, to try and hit the biggest numbers possible.
We just nah here, though. Surely Toppy just picks his comfort. I don't know exactly how that matchup goes. I feel like Sejuani can handle a mini-nah pretty well. But this is, I guess, something that we did see last game. It's been kind of proven by BioPanther in the way that a couple of interactions worked there. Divine Sundra into the Sejuani, have a split push win con.
Yep.
I feel like in my mind, Fiora also could be really good. Now, I know that Fiora exists in the LCS very prolifically. It was almost one of the highest pick ban champions this week of LCS. It's not something that Toppy wants to go for twice in a row, perhaps scarred a little bit after his last performance.
Let's see if he does go for that leash as well. If he can get himself that strong start in lane. As you mentioned, we have seen how this matchup can play. And certainly by the later portions of it, the Camille really will start to ramp up and not only beat out the Sejuani in the 1v1, but certainly jump upon a key carry and absolutely obliterate them. I think really there are some concerns, no doubt, from the side of Gravitas, right? The biggest one being the misfortune. Probably would have preferred a different AD carry for that role.
I mean, it's insane team fighting, right? Gravitas have really good team fighting with a lot of damage. Everywhere they have a lot of damage. The Renata ultimate could be game-defining, team fight winning. Very huge potential upside from Gravitas' composition. Lots to look forward to. Good flanks from Toppy. Options for resets there from Llenia on this Viego if DaJeung hits, or if Piglet hits those ultimates. Pensanet.gg are just almost a bread and butter composition for them, though, in contrast. This is comfort for them.
Yeah.
Winter on the Sejuani will adapt fine. He's got a melee champion in BalKhan on Wukong to work with. Yuri on Akali was an absolute monster in the playoffs of Split 1 on this pick, was just tearing teams apart. Definitely something to be excited about. And then Aphelios Lulu. I mean, Praedyth is the Aphelios player of the last year of LCO up until Kai'Sa came into the mix, right? It was him and Violet playing that, Kai'Sa and Aphelios, and both just being monsters.
Certainly were. And just returning to that mid lane point, it just reminds me of Faker at Worlds up against Caps, right? When he went for the Shroud, he was getting run down by the Zoe, breaks the ankle with the flash into the bush.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. No doubt Yuri can look to try and hit him with some fancy feet as well to make life ever so annoying. But ultimately, yep, I do feel like PGG have certainly got a very standard meta composition that fits the bill of what they're after. As Gravitas have said, we have damage. If we can get the jump, it's going to be very hard to slow us down. Let's then load in to this fourth and final game to kickstart week number 3. And as we do, as always, let's check in with one of the coaches. This time, we have Chippies from the side of Pentanet joining us. How are you, bro?
What's up, G? I'm all good.
Yeah, it's good to hear. It's good to hear. Well, I mean, I've been asking a few players, a few coaches here today as to sort of what they're finding things like here on 12-11. What do you think? Because obviously we have seen a number of different changes. Sejuani being locked in, Zeri now being banned away. Do you think these changes have been enough to stir things?
I think there's some small changes, but I actually think this patch benefits our team the most because Aphelios is back, baby, for Mikey, and also a new tank for Dongy to try out.
Yeah, we did hear from him, actually, from his interview that he tried to ego you. So did that actually happen, or did you just tell him, you're playing Sejuani, stop it?
Well, I'd say about 80% of his scrims this week were on Sejuani, so I don't think his egoing worked too well.
He's all show, he's all show. Well, on the final note then, what have you made of the games tonight so far? Because we've certainly seen some absolute bangers. You're obviously coming into a Gravitas that are still trying to find their feet. So what's the main objective to try and take out of this one?
I'd say just sort of play our team fights a lot better than we did last week, because versus Chiefs, I'd say we didn't really know how to play out our comp, so this comp's a lot easier to play, so we'll just start from there.
Yeah, ease of execution certainly looks fantastic. Well, Chippy, it's always a pleasure, mate. And yeah, wish you boys the best of luck in this game.
Thanks, mate. See you, big man.
It is easy in execution in that respect. He's absolutely right. So, Chippies, I like the idea. Back to basics, do what works for them, or try and find what does work for them. Now, bot, we're looking at a lot of aggressive trading.
A lot of damage. Praedyth really copping a beating right there. Just the pure strength from the passive of a Misfortune, right?
That's it, and it's also a tier start MF, but it is Comet, right? It is an Ignite from Floppy. It is aggressive. The Ignite, you could call it wasted, but it was meaningful damage. There's no potions left from Praedyth. Down in bottom lane, 2 minutes in. Warding defensively, has got the red weapon still, so we'll be able to sever him some of his health back. But you would expect that a double ranged matchup will just use the Make It Rain immediately with a Comet to equalize any of that healing you could potentially get at all.
It's just so annoying to deal with, right? An E-Max Misfortune, you're like, that's so skillful. Look what you've done. You've just zoned me away from the wave. I can't do much about it. But we have seen, although very rare, we did see Puma last split. I believe it was during the playoffs. He did play the Kraken variation, which I thought could have been a consideration, given you do have the Renata buff, but it's not to be the case.
Yeah, I mean, lethality is the most often seen, right? You've got a world where you can be like super flexible and occasionally have a Leandri's game. There's a lot of health stacking on the opposing team, so it's worth considering. Yeah. But realistically, you're expecting to see the lethality build. Especially, it was during the MSI patch, you saw Jin running around with the Umbral Glaive. It was certainly something you could look towards with Misfortune. But that got nerfed a little bit. It's 5 seconds. The cost didn't change, anything like that changed, so...
Still has merit.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with a Zoe comp, right? You've already got 2 physical damage dealers on your team. You could go for a cheap, like, utility type of MF build, just look for team fights with the ultimate, straight into a Last Whisper afterwards, do as much damage as possible. Comet means definitely not a Kraken build, though.
What he does. We're going to see what happens here. Both junglers have played cross-map and look to steal away each other's Krugs. Does look like Praedyth has just switched to that red weapon and life leached up an absolute storm, having burnt all the potions. Piglet in a very comfortable spot, though. 2 potions of his own, 2 biscuits as well. Can continue to just absolutely farm up a storm. And living his best life.
And I was wondering how patient Llenia would be, because this wave is pushing. Like, it is inevitable that they can get a gank off.
It's on. There is the Make It Rain. Praedyth's in trouble. He's just going to be as easy as that. Stunned on out. First blood. All that pressure. Finally giving us something to look about.
A super delayed reset from Llenia as a result, but knows that the wave is there. Piglet, Floppy clearly calling him back towards bottom. BalKhan going to make sure that none of these minions go completely to waste. Experience at the minimum going to be picked up by this Wukong, who only really has the Raptor camp to look towards, so it's actually a bit of free time for him to come and get some experience. This means there's going to be no cross-map plays more than anything else. Also, awkward matchup when you think about it for Camille's shield if it starts physical. There's a bit of magic damage there from the Sejuani that makes his lane difficult, like you're saying.
Certainly is. You max out that W. The flail packs a big punch, not only in the wave clear, but also in those extended trades, as you can see. So your biggest enemy is the mana, hence why we have been seeing a lot of those tiers being purchased as well. Might just get a chance to go back to base for free now.
Certainly will. Has the option to walk if he doesn't want to teleport, for sure, based off how even the wave is. Camille, I mean, at the same time, probably only teleports if Winterer does, but even then doesn't have to. It's actually going to be a teleport advantage for Toppy right now. That's something to look towards the rest of the map, right? It's not going to be a Drake play, but it could be that a reset towards a walk somewhere else on the map, teleport back to top, whatever you'd like to do. Praedyth and Rogue now just going to sweep all the way through here.
Yeah, looks like a bit of a freeze has happened in the bot lane right now, so they're forced to try and go for a roam. 4 members collapse in the mid lane, and it's going to be easier said than done to try and take down that Zoe.
Yuri holding a freeze as well, right? Like, if he's holding that and not trying to push the wave, hard to do, to be fair, as an Akali, then they're not going to have any priority to make a play for the Drake or anything. It's just going to be a roam from Praedyth and Rogue for the sake of roaming.
Can he get it?
And I feel like if you were Llenia at this point, you actually just come and pressure bottom, because they've made the mistake. He's going to show mid, so that's definitely something that will be very relieving here for Rogue and Praedyth. You'll see them now play with a little bit more vigor in this lane as the Viego shows himself. But I mean, what's to stop the Viego from, instead of going mid, walking towards bot Tribush, pressuring a gank again, just knowing that the wave is building? And you've got a Drake to stare at afterwards if you don't want to.
Looks like he is going to start that one up solo right now, but realize might not be the best idea. He's going to leash things out for a second and see what happens elsewhere on the map as BalKhan reveals himself topside. Bot lane is going to crash, as you highlight. He's committed to this one.
Yeah, you can now.
That's completely free now.
Yep. Has the honey fruit to go for after as well. Gravitas just going to get a plate bottom. It's going to push mid, and it's just pressure. Constant push and pressure. Of course, BalKhan's transaction here is that he wants to get level 6 first. We'll get that. You would hope can get active on the map and make some plays soon, the old Wukong with the Sejuani. So hard to do into Camille, though.
As we saw before, right, you highlighted it perfectly with the hookshot interaction. Very, very frustrating to try and contend with. Still, cross-map jungling, stealing away buffs, stealing away camps. And just keeping up pace.
And I feel like stability is already an improvement from Gravitas. Like, to be completely frank, the fact that they're not 2,000 gold down right now is a marked improvement, but in a positive way. Like, I think what they've done so far is they've been playing the game around their bot lane through their jungler, where the last game they tried playing through their mid laner and DaJeung lost the game, basically trying to play for his team instead of playing for himself. So isolating mid as a 1v1. So far, so good as a prospect in this game for Gravitas. Still uphill battle by players and team right now, with PGG being an absolute powerhouse of the LCO. But they're doing well.
Certainly are. No doubting the strength of Piglet as well. Been around for quite a while, and it's certainly being rewarded with this pick, which is ever so annoying in the laning phase. But here we go for that first skirmish of the fight. Bottle time instantly interrupted. The cyclone of the Wukong, the dash across the wall from the Akali. And that chance to try and empower you for a second chance at life is just not enough there by Renata. Somehow DaJeung has actually sniped away a kill here onto Rogue, but he's pulled it out and back on through. And at a top half of the map for Pentanet is huge.
And Gravitas, they reset. They look towards the Herald. They deploy towards the Herald, but they just don't play the fights in a way that would be winning ever, right? Like, they get immediately caught over the wall. They have no vision set up. They reveal themselves in the play completely. Toppy teleports, but he's not going to be able to get into the play at all. Look at the damage in the last team fight. It was Winterer that gets in first straight away, finds his mark onto a carry straight away who doesn't have cleanse because it is a heal again. No carries really running cleanse so far. Watch this one more time. Piglet just straight up caught. BalKhan, I think they just think they're collapsing onto BalKhan, but Llenia instantly dies to Yuri, and immediately Piglet, when he tries to ult, gets cancelled. Yuri gets in with the resets, the Akali. A little bit too clean, like we said. And DaJeung will get himself one kill. But that fight was lost the second it started.
But he was fairly doomed. For all the strength and all the damage. This is the ability to stand your ground and try and go blow for blow with a comp where PGG want to drive at you, lock you down, and interrupt any kind of chance for you to really unleash and deliver that potential damage.
And I can't stress this enough, Skimmy. Game 2 of the day was a masterclass from the Chiefs on how to not play for Rift Herald, which feels like it's a very rare thing in the LCO. Most teams are just 5v5ing at the Rift Herald. 8 minutes is an excuse to team fight. But they get a full bot turret for it, right? They make it a transaction that's worthwhile. And I think, again, we saw a case of Gravitas just wanting to go for the Herald play.
Conditioned to take it, and unfortunately unable to claim it. They do, of course, have that first Drake, and if they can stack those up quite nicely, then that would put them on course for a solid win condition, but they look to try and go bot side. Floppy with a fantastic handshake. Going to completely dissuade both BalKhan and Rogue of stepping any further towards them.
The misfortune here was also really nice for that, slowing them down to make sure the handshake was almost guaranteed. Llenia needs to be very careful here. Rogue and BalKhan working together is a dangerous duo. 2 members, 2 control wards, why not? It'd be nice if they had one of those for this bush, but nevertheless, Herald still to be summoned.
BalKhan just being a little bit cheeky right now, but turn our attention topside as Winter is in a lot of trouble. Ganked by top and jungle. Gonna fall on down, much like that minion wave as the bullet time just evaporates the push. The crash is not there. The Ballot's being procced. The Ballot is alive. He needs that kill to survive. He can't find BalKhan. And Praedyth gets a double kill in a dive that just didn't look like it was
Praedyth. All right, nothing's hitting him.
He sidestepped everything, Rusty.
DaJeung says, all right, you can live this time.
Mission impossible. And he's
gonna
actually
kill
just
him.
going around. Does he get the kill? No, he just literally fights his way out of that compromised position.
DaJeung still hunting, still trying, but he's not going to provide or find anything there. Praedyth just snaps his ankles off. Just absolutely posterizes him. He's just going to walk away. No flash needed to be used. BalKhan griefed him, to be fair, but he made it work. It was a nice pick topside, just to really summarize what happened here for Gravitas, what happened bottom aside. They get themselves the Sejuani, the Camille. Able to work nicely with Viego, lock down Sejuani. She has no way out, no way to escape. But that dive bottom with no minions, I'm shocked it worked.
Absolutely.
Without a trade, without a single kill back.
It was such a late Cyclone to interrupt the bullet time, which had already done its job. The wave was gone.
Yeah, half health both. Praedyth and Rogue. But that's just BalKhan things. Most people don't see that angle. He finds a way.
Certainly was not deterred by it whatsoever. And Gravitas will respawn and find themselves a second Drake in this game. The bubble connects. Rogue shields the paddle star. Puts his body on the line. And they will just walk away to safety.
That makes sense though. In mid lane, Praedyth can't dodge skill shots. In bot lane, he's actually faker. Put him mid. Suddenly start tanking them all.
The meme, the curse.
That's a full turret.
That's absolutely gone. With Demolish proc, auto, BalKhan hammers it one more time, and that charges on through, and the turret is gone. Gravitas a little bit too late for any form of retaliation. And as we check into the total gold, it's all things PGG.
Yeah, and Gravitas again, trying to contest that Herald summon. They're just too late to the play is never going to be conducive to finding a gold lead for yourself. It's a way to lose more.
Piglet. BalKhan's got Cyclone. Doesn't even have to burn the flash, but Piglet does. And he flashes into a prison, which becomes his tombstone.
Yeah, you have to instantly flash the second Wukong jumps in, but it's so hard to react to an E ultimate with no other abilities thrown in between.
Okay, Yuri.
Yuri wins this 1v1. Definitely feeling himself, just pretty comfortable farming down here while his team wins.
He's having a dance off with Kitty.
Still dancing while the wave attacks him. And he's just sitting pretty. I mean, again, so Gravitas, right? They try and respond to the top turret play. They are late to that play. Piglet, who is the last of the play, then walks back mid to try and push the wave that he was meant to be at in the first place, then gets ganked by PGG, who had already taken the turret, and the play continues.
Like just compounds
yeah,
further.
it just continues to get worse and worse, instead of making an opposing play to what PGG did. Either you're there to respond or fight in the first place, or you make some kind of trade. But unfortunately, they get stuck between all of the decisions, and it goes from bad to worse.
Even in the bot lane too. I mean, Yuri's just really toying with him, interrupting his recall, interrupting his skill shot capture, really saying, where are you going to go with it? Making sure that this Zoe does not get out of control.
Yuri is genuinely just having too much fun down there right now. You actually can just feel the vibes, this Akali. Too much fun. Someone gank him.
But if you learn anything, the champion really is just as hard as the Yumi.
Yeah.
So, what does that tell you?
Anything compared to Yumi doesn't tell me a good thing.
It was a weak point, but regardless, it's that part of the night where PGG will say, forget about the Drake. We'll just get ourselves a second Herald of the game. It's a double buff Wukong, looking ever so strong. Waiting for cooldowns and waiting to capture and collect. Finally, Yuri gets a chance to go back to the base. As the bot lane of Gravitas and Pentanet are still posted up in the mid lane, trimming it up, waiting for that third dragon to spawn.
Threatening the dive, potentially. Lulu using the W means that distance can be closed.
He's on, he's hit the smite with the slow. Red smite is there. Moonlight Vigil, I think, was just out of range. As Floppy hits the handshake. But he's already lost his AD carry, and that's the second time now Piglet's been caught out by the same play.
Yeah, but like Piglet getting caught out, where's his team? He's dead under turret being dove.
They're diving between two turrets now.
There's no vision you could place that will make things better for Piglet. Got to help him first. PGG just outright control of the top side of the map. We're able to use that to dive very successfully. This game's just getting out of reach faster than you can imagine if you're a Gravitas player. Too hard to keep up with. Piglet, impossible to play the game. We said this in draft. This Misfortune is going to have a nightmare of a game dealing with PGG's comp.
And it wasn't to say it was going to be weak in laning phase, right? It wasn't to say that it wouldn't have the damage. It has tons, but just the ability to stand and deliver was going to be such a tough ask, especially now that a Wukong is 4-0, that Yuri on this Akali is farming up a Storm. And then you have to contend with a Sejuani as well.
And you have heal instead of the cleanse, perhaps, is something that could keep you away from the Sejuani. The heal is nice to deal with the damage of bot lane. Right, there's not much to cleanse from a Wukong with knockups from an Aphelios or a Lulu as a polymorph at best, right? But like...
Here we go. Winter really fancying himself in his top exchange. He flashes away. Toppy really putting an order online there just to guarantee their first turret off the game. Pentanet will upset the party and prevent any early soul point. 4 members in the bot side hunting out a Zoe. They don't really care about that one. They just want to answer back with their 3rd turret of the game.
They'll get the turret back. They'll be able to stay on the map as well and continue to press the attack forwards if they would like. Toppy overstaying his welcome to get another couple of waves. No teleport, no health to his name being hovered by Llenia. It is DaJeung that is being left to the wolves. And has to play incredibly safely, as does Piglet. No priority to be seen from Gravitas. The Viego, the Renata probably need to get on the same page here, place some vision for a future play, in essence, because right now they're barely even able to clear the wards that Pentanet.gg have.
Still does feel like that one beacon of light has been Toppy in the top lane, getting that kill, surviving the potential 1v1 with Winter, as he put an order on the line just to guarantee that first turret. If time can be afforded, potentially you hit that second item spike right with the Tiamat into the Ravenous Hydra. You can do pretty much what we just saw in that last game. Perhaps less of the fireworks, the antics, the drama. We could do with a little bit more of a calm affair. But certainly something to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, Toppy scales. He's definitely the place to look towards. The Zoe has Luden's done in relatively short order with a couple of extra supplementary items now. So Zoe hitting a bubble combo is really nice, but Zoe's stuck in a side lane, not mid, which is generally a bad thing because there's no one that you can hit down there. The Akali wins that lane as well, just pressure. And there's no turret to keep you alive. And look at Pentanet.gg is controlling the blue side quadrant. Realistically, you want a Misfortune and a Zoe on the same screen if you're looking to make a play. Bubble into a handshake, or the hostile takeover, right, with an MF ultimate layered over the top of it.
Absolutely.
It probably has to come down to a Drake fight or an objective fight if that's the way it's going to be. Because those conditions with which Gravitas win are starting to shrink.
Well, they're going to try to find it topside now. Hookshot will not land onto Yuri, but he has locked him in place for the ultimate right now. Buffering up the stun is the Viego. A little bit too late, but it does not matter. They get the shutdown anyway. And thankfully for them, it is the Camille that picks it up.
Yeah, just a little bit too coy. Finally gets punished is Yuri, having a bit too much fun, perhaps. Pentanet.gg are going to hit the Baron at 20 minutes with their mid laner dead. Gravitas, not even a whiff, not even a clue. This is being done right now. Praedyth is going to auto-attack it. They don't want to commit to it. That felt free.
Certainly did.
Am I wrong?
Certainly did, but perhaps they were wondering if they can just get a jump on mid like this instead. And DaJeung will try and be a hero through that portal. There is the hostile takeover. There is the bailout, but he won't be bailed. He will fall down. There is a double. There is a 6-0 Wukong on my screen. Make it 7. There's the triple. And you know, BalKhan will be hunting for that Penta. He's low on HP.
He's asking for
but
it.
Yuri's tanking up the turret. There is the Quadra. Go on, BalKhan. Give us that Penta.
No! Stolen by Praedyth. This is a quadruple-only league right now in the LCO. No Pentas allowed, all denied. You can see BalKhan was blowing up in the player camp. He's like, how dare you? Praedyth's just silently thinking, that's revenge.
That's revenge for split one. He's been brewing internally. I was so close in split one and you stole it.
Pentakills are earned, not given. The BalKhan has now learned that revenge does not feel as sweet as he might have hoped. Baron going to be hit again this time. Many members dead. Piglet, no ultimate to get into the pit. 2 sums, but just a pipe dream. BalKhan no smite, actually.
Piglet's going to try. Winter jumps across the wall. Patasaur goes across, and that was close.
That was 70 health.
Double digits, well dead. As BalKhan jumps across again with a triple cyclone. Toppy jumps in and isolates out Rogue. The Lulu is gone. The BalKhan machine is pressing forward with these bruises. As Winter has found himself a triple.
Easy triple for the Sejuani. I mean, Praedyth's going to be able to walk away just by using vision. Toppy finds himself a single target to assassinate. 3-1 Camille, but a very tough game. We'll watch this fight one more time and see how difficult it just really is to beat Piglet. Ultimate gets cancelled. Hostile takeover was probably perfect for a pre-level 11 Renata. Hits almost everybody and stops them from dealing damage. But the play was tough prior to that, right? The Misfortune ultimate was used prior to the ultimate by Renata. So there's no actual combo to follow up. And then we get the 4 kills and Praedyth. He knows what he's doing. He waited. He knows exactly what he's doing.
It looks even better in slow-mo, doesn't it?
He even jiggled.
Baron and a second Drake picked up here by Pentanet, who have a commanding authority on this map. Very hard now for Gravitas to step up. They are really picking at scraps as they are close to being down 10,000 gold. There's the hostile takeover. There's the full channel this time of a bullet time, but a wild growth gets them out of harm's way. They turn it around with a glacial prison. But this time there is no follow-up. They're flanking Aphelios on the side, might I add. But they'll just say that's turret number 5.
Yeah, Praedyth was looking for the impossible angles. BalKhan with no health is going to stick around. Baron just pressuring mid, keeping them busy. All they need is 2 waves to pressure at the same time, but Gravitas will have a sizable health lead right now. With this Wukong just playing them for fools. Lulu ultimate not on or ready to be used either.
I mean, Yuri's just literally standing in mid and powering his cannon. He's literally just watching.
Whoa, Piglet's dead.
Emoting. BalKhan, his clone's been put to sleep. The bailout's not good enough this time. As the perfect execution goes across, and now Praedyth says, this is how you get a penta. There's the quadra. Am I seeing it again? BalKhan, don't you dare steal it. Run them down. Rogue pops the Shurelius, but Praedyth's no longer interested. We saw this also last split where Kyose ran away in LeBlanc.
This is a quadra-kill only team, Pentanet.gg. BalKhan wants to make sure that pentakill never happens, actually. He's going to chase him down to the ends of the earth, keep him busy.
Unless Toppy has something to say about it. The Cyclone is there, Toppy. Oh, bonked on the head. Just lost vision for 1 second.
2 inhibitors to drop here as well. 1 reset remaining, it feels like, for Pentanet.gg. Straight towards top lane. There's no need to detour. There's no Drakes up. There's nothing left to be spawned. It is just going to be a fight once again. Praedyth hits the Q here, assassinates Piglet. That's how the fight starts off. Yuri comes in with a huge combo on this Akali. So much damage. Confident enough to continue to flash forward, use his stopwatch. And DaJeung just gets auto-attacked by Praedyth. He's having the time of his life over here. And you know what? Toppy's putting in work. He might have assassinated a Sejuani, but he's finding someone. He's doing more than the rest of the team can.
He really is.
He's trying his heart out, but he's still just in a very tough game state, almost impossible to play.
Very much so. A Death Stance will help him with that reset, that durability to try and claim those extra bounties, but ultimately it is a very uphill battle. That gold lead only continues to accrue further and further away from them. Their base is in absolute tatters. Winter misses the ult, the fight breaks out top side. The hostile takeover onto free Rogue. It's nearly going to die to his own AD carry, but Praedyth comes out of it and now tries to take out the other members inside the base. The Moonlight Vigil comes across. Toppy jumps in with a hook shot, but you can see the gold disparity on full display. And now Zoe is left to try and deal with 4 members inside the Gravitas base, but it's just not enough. 26 minutes on the clock. Pentanet having enough of playing with their food, and will put this game to rest and close out day 1 of week 3.
After they dive DaJeung first. And they'll be kind. They won't let BalKhan die to the fountain. In the end, very straightforward victory by PGG. I would say they were definitely having fun with it, but they were still there to win. Yuri pressed S more than he right-clicked, I believe. And it's good to see Rogue again on the Enchanters. Diversifying his Enchanter pool, right? Not just the Nami anymore. He's got the Lulu there. So we're seeing more from PGG in the way of diversity. That is a lot to look forward to.
Putting in a lot of work during the regular season to make sure, no doubt, Mac, that they are primed and ready to go come playoffs.
Yeah, not only is he diversifying the champion pool, he's bloody participated in almost every single damn kill. Kitty was pointing that one out in the green room saying, what, 25 assists out of 26 kills for the game? Ridiculous.
That's my dream as an Enchanter support. Although he died at the very end, maybe he could have had 100% KP, but that is still extremely impressive for a Lulu. So give it to that. Give it to you, that one.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, Rogue
just
has been so good on Enchanters. He's probably better than me, so I'm defeated.
Look,
Absolutely
you jump in the gun. You jump in the gun. Kind of like, you know, these attempts at Herald, these early fights, potentially losing teams games, and jump in the gun. BalKhan just gets that Penta snatched away. I think that's the best storyline, you know, him accidentally doing it ages ago, and then of course he gets his just desserts all. Praedyth does. There's not for you, my friend. I think we get to see a replay of that coming up very shortly, and I think it was achievable. The thing was, Praedyth timed his last hit.
Yeah, he
so
stopped his auto attack.
He literally
He waited.
His little Gravitas, meow. And I was like, okay.
Here we go. Let's just get some confirmation here. It's about to happen.
All right.
Here's the Quadra. Right back. There you go. And Penta's there. Oh, he snatched that one. Oh my.
The Quadra Castle.
Yes.
Look how angry
He was so grumpy. He was so grumpy. Would that have been the first Penta for the split?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
I don't
We
think
only got one last split.
we got real close to a couple now. Some big Quadras, but no full Pentas just yet. So I believe that prize is still, you know, sitting up in the air, Kitty.
Yeah, and I want to kind of talk about this MF pick because we did see this MF as a response to the Aphelios and Lulu, where you usually never see a pairing of Renata and MF because you don't need to have that W ready for the MF because she's so far away. But if we're looking at Pentanet's comp, they have a Sejuani, Wukong, and Akali, which have extreme gap closes, which severely counters the Zoe and MF and Renata in that regard. So it was pretty hard to play for Piglet and Floppy, so unlucky in terms of the drafting. And I really enjoyed watching Sejuani and Wukong being a pairing for today. I think they have a really strong synergy as who did we interview for the Sejuani? I think it was Winterer. He said that you provide that CC for the Wukong, and it's just you get an extra stun off. So.
Oh wait, you mean Zoranus?
Oh, Zoranus.
Yeah,
Zoranus.
Yeah, Winter lied and said he wasn't going to play it.
Yeah, Chippy says, oh, like
picked it.
80% of his scrims have been playing this, so what's he on about?
Yeah.
He didn't out-ego the coach.
No.
You can't do that, so...
He was playing silly buggers in the interview, but look, it was essentially, Kitty said it was a diffy in the driffy.
Yeah,
again.
We have our statistics coming in for Viego versus Wukong tonight, and it is a whopping 0-5 against Wukong. So can we please get an F in the chat? And yeah, I don't know what else to say.
How do you do an F with your fingers?
Is it that one or is it that way on the camera? It's one of them. Oh, no, I don't know. I don't remember the phase up. I honestly just don't know anymore. There's a way you do it. Anyway, we got Praedyth ready. Praedyth, do you know how to do a phase up with your fingers? Is it that?
No. I don't want to offend anyone too, so I'm not going to try.
True, playing it safe. Now, how are you feeling after that one? And tell me about the revenge you got on BalKhan. How sweet was that?
Yeah, I mean, game was pretty easy. It's a Gravitas game. I think we expected to win. And about... Oh, yeah, go.
So sorry, I thought it was just going to be a short answer. My bad, Praedyth, but...
Jumping the gun.
Yeah, my bad. So we did see you picking the Aphelios once again. So are we getting a return of that 2021 Praedyth?
Probably not. It's still not very good. Honestly, it was very exploitable in draft, and then they kind of exploited it by picking the MF because MF's like traditionally pretty good into Aphelios as well as like the Lulu. It's good in lane and it scales pretty well into the like auto attack champs. But unfortunately we had Wukong and we still had our mid jungle to pick, so we picked like Akali, Wukong, Sejuani, like that champ can't do anything. So yeah, it wasn't very good.
What's so funny?
You guys can't see Skimmy's reaction, but yeah. Okay, let's move on from that fact. You guys are going against Peace tomorrow. So, do you have any words to your old rival, and how do you think that will turn out?
Nah, I feel pretty bad for him, so I probably won't say anything too mean to him. I think if he's not 1v9ing those games, the games look extremely hard for him to win. I think like every game is just like a huge top deficit. The mid jungle aren't doing what they were doing like last split, so I think even though some parts of their bot lane are getting a lot of flack, it's like I don't think anyone on that team's performing like particularly well, especially if you compare it to last split. So I think it's going to be like a really free win, but I don't want to BM him too hard.
Oh, who would you like to compliment then before we wrap up the interview? Rogue?
Yeah, my support for picking enchanters.
Very good. All right, well, that'll do. Anyway, we'll see you later, Mark. We'll see you next time you get another W.
Thank you.
Always good.
Jimmy, you want to tell us why you're laughing?
Akali, bro.
I've never heard that pronunciation in my life.
Akali threw us.
I was just like...
From where?
Yeah, your head went like, whoop.
I almost went like full French Ramus for a second, hearing different languages. Oh, Akali?
Hey. Also, if you haven't heard French Ramus, we got recommended listening to it, and we all did. That was interesting.
That was a group bonding experience.
Check that one out real quick. Now, let's have this conversation about the DR MVP. It's not going to be Ramus because he wasn't in this game, nor is he French. But who are we looking at? Rusty, we're looking at you because
BalKhan?
BalKhan? I feel like it's hard to not when he's on an OP champ and the man's just insane in the jungle, right?
I mean, we could give it to the Gravitas macro 8 minutes at Herald, but I would prefer BalKhan.
You prefer BalKhan?
Yeah,
well, let's just give it to BalKhan. We'll keep it easy. As long as Rusty's happy, everyone else is happy.
Keep Rusty.
Is this a precedent?
The Dare Iced Coffee MVP for today is going to be the Deathless BalKhan coming through with a stolen Penta. So we did only get a quad twice. Was it twice?
Oh no, so Praedyth got a quad.
Oh, Praedyth got a quad, that's right.
And then he got the 5th kill. And yeah.
Either way, 88% KP. Honourable mention to Rogue for the 25 or whatever, 98% KP he put in today. And 31% of the damage share. I think that's a whole lot considering the other Wukongs we've seen haven't been huge damage dealers. They've just been sort of spin bots, right?
Yeah, primarily they're just for the engage, right? For the constant, the double cyclone that Wukong has with his clone is just disgusting, honestly. Yeah. So that's usually what it's picked for, but he was... I mean, the dive bottom was one of the key features for me as to how he deserves MVP. I can't believe he lived.
Yeah.
I can't believe the dive worked. They had no minions.
Man was insane. Now it's time for the play of the day. I feel like there's only one that everyone wants to watch again because we didn't get enough of that game. It was in the Order and Direwolves game. Yes. It's the Baron turnaround for Order who managed to win the fight, get back into the game and come back. Or will start that comeback from a huge gold deficit at this point. What is 30 minutes in? Baron, it gets lost, but then the Baron wipe as well is just so damn crucial. Having a look at Bio there, man's jumped on Dante to stop him doing damage from the back lines as well. And it just feels like this is what their comp was meant to do, like in every single fight, but the execution just wasn't there. But the time it did work out as intended. Order, picking up play of the day. Kitty, thoughts on this one?
An extreme rare sighting of Viego actually getting resets with his ult. So props to that. This is what Viego actually looks like when you do have a perfect team fight. And it's really strong in that fact. But I think overall just team comp diff. So even though Order played extremely well, and props to Puma for just not giving up and doing as much damage as he can on that Ezreal, and even went Prowless, so maybe it is the better build on Ezreal.
And also, not only that being the play of the day, but Puma, new highest CS in a game so far in this split, I think overall, right? And he held the old record for like 300 and something, and he just absolutely smashed that out of the park. It just took an extra 10 minutes in the game. So Any other honorable mentions for player of the day, or are we just
Of
happy
course,
with that one?
Puma's TP to base made everyone's heart racing.
The guy,
and
oh my god, he didn't
Elder
need to
was a paid
teleport.
actor
He
or
didn't need
something.
to. He didn't need to.
They wanted to commit. They just wanted to make sure
As
it
three,
worked.
As three.
There's a world where Elder was just too sweet for Dials to want to give up. Anyway, look,
Yeah.
you know, other player of the day could be Elder deciding to reset,
The
gaining
Elder
1k
resetting,
HP.
Yep.
Because I had to look back on the replays. There was a smite ready for Goodo, and he died once it hit that sort of 1500 mark. So it would have been within smite range. If the reset didn't happen, everything could have changed. Who knows? This is just those little ifs and buts with League of Legends. Either way, let's have a look at the standings after all of today's big, exciting, bloody games. Chiefs still undefeated there with the 5-0 scoreline. Direwolf still up there in second, tied with Pentanet, doing a lot of work, but as Rusty mentioned, they've got a big couple of games ahead of them, so we'll see if they fall, or we'll see if they stand and hold their ground in this spot on the ladder. Peace and Order tied for fourth with a 2-3 negative win rate at the moment. Kanga jumping up to 2-3. Mammoth down at 7th on their own, and Gravitas still winless, Kitty.
I mean, to be fair, I think Dials does deserve the second spot. They've been so clean with their wins, and PG up there as usual. I think just Peace and Order for this early split, they haven't been performing up to standards. But in Order's case, they've always said that they are a playoffs team, and they proved themselves in Split 1 where they did the perfect run, and they have always been that best of 5 team. So I'm not gonna talk about their record currently, and I think Kanga is probably the most notable for me because they are doing just a little better compared to their previous split.
Oh, Kangaroo in fourth there as well.
Yeah.
My brain is silly. Anyway, let's have a look at the games that are going to be on for day 2 of week 3 here on the LCO, delivered by Menulog. First game of the day, Kanga in Order, a 2-3 affair. In Order, I'm sure they're going to bounce back after what we saw today, but at the same time, Kanga can look pretty strong on their good days. 7 p.m. What we did start to dub as the El Clasico between Mammoth and Gravitas, but we've really enjoyed what we've liked from Mammoth. Rusty, don't give me those eyes.
I'm not giving anyone anything.
Beautiful. All right, didn't ask for it.
Straight
Now,
to the screen.
8 p.m. Chiefs and Direwolves, a very tough affair for Direwolves. Finally, they get to go up against the best so far in the league to see how they stand. And then the final game of the day, Peace and PGG. You heard it from Praedyth already. He didn't really want to comment on the matchup because he feels like Peace are just in a bit of a rough place at the moment. Skimmy, we already had our match of the week, but what's this match of the day going into tomorrow?
Tough one, actually, because like top of the table, you're looking at a really good check of, you know, really where these teams are at for both Order and Kanga. Mammoth and Gravitas is always one of those absolute fiestas where really anything could happen in terms of wild drafts or long drawn-out games of high kill volume. Chiefs and Direwolves, yeah, be a good chance to see really how good Direwolves are. They've taken down some big teams now. Strength of schedule really is now going to turn against them. And then, yeah, it'd be awesome to see if Peace could look to try and tap into some of that 2021 magic up against Pentanet. So I'm excited to see literally all those games.
Yeah, every single one seems like it could go the extra mile depending on how the teams play. Now, one more prediction from us. Are we going to get Sejuani in every single game tomorrow?
Probably, yeah.
I don't think she's worth banning, but
No.
Yeah.
she's so blindable.
A tank that doesn't lose lane is usually valuable. I will absolutely admit that, and the fact that our region's not really feeling the Fiora play style at all, it seems like that's something that could be good into it.
Yeah.
Also, we've seen no Callista.
Yeah,
No bans,
well,
no
I
Like
thought
none.
I thought it was going to pop in, but Kitty was telling me that Piglet wasn't really a Callista player, so we didn't see it go in with the Renata in last game. Anyway, doesn't really matter. We get to see tomorrow if these champ draft, these trends all continue. But for now, that is it for the first day of week 3. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the LCO delivered by Menulog. And we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Be here or be square.
You just don't get turned upon by the likes of this
Oh, that's it.
Sejuani. Oh, no, I don't know about that one. There's the knock up. There's the potential kill onto Reef. He's just gone! One pistol weapon, he's down! The cannon barrage has got 3 people
Voice is in
place.
trouble.
And Voice has gone for the 1v4 with the killer instinct in. He's been shut on down. Lionel says justice for Forky. Yeah, tally's on. A TP from top side. The Emperor's Divide knocking back through as they go for the binding. Flashing out of the Everfrost. Oh no, gets landed on by that Tempered Fate. True Shot Barrage goes across to try and pat these members down low. The shield is there. Gwen's now immune. Raised. Rocket jumping away inside that Baron pit. They pile drive into Tien, and he's been baited. Peace went in. They formed this collapse. They were holding the hook. John jumps into the pit. He's looking for the kill. He's looking for the target. True shot burst. Corporal goes in. No! They cannot steal the Baron. They go golden. They resurrect. But the Baron buff, is that enough for Divals to try and win out this fight? Order are doing it. They found 2 so far. Ari's found the kill. But Ezreal's still getting rowdy. Ezreal's found a double.
Order's
Ezreal's getting it done. They found an ace. DaJeung will try and be a hero through that portal. There is the hostile takeover. There is the bailout, but he won't be bailed. He will fall down. There is a double. There is a 6-0 Wukong on my screen. Make it 7. There's the triple. And you know BalKhan will be hunting for that Penta. He's low on HP.
He's asking for
but
it.
Yuri tanking up the turret. There is the Quadra. Go on, BalKhan. Give us that Penta. No!
Stolen by Praedyth.
Hey, look, menu pong.
Oh.
5 seconds.
I know. I just have absolutely no
Matt,
idea.
you play
round
this
guess.
champion.
You play
You
this
play
champion.
this champion.
Ah!
Say it.
Ah! Kazakhs?
No, you like this champion more than that.
You always want to
There's
see
a
it in the
bell
LCO.